Okay, in the last lesson, we began looking at the various business roles and mindsets. We also saw how questions not only determine focus, but more importantly, how the questions that we ask are always limited by the role or context we are holding at the time. So now let's look a little closer. Let's go back to the technician, the artist. He is the one who is taking orders. So naturally, the question he starts asking is, what do you want done? And of course, usually the one he's asking is whoever is responsible for paying him. Notice, the artist or technician is asking other people what exactly they want done, and then relying on their self to do the work. While in the back of their minds, they are already blocking out distractions. They don't want to think about doing other things like answering the phone, managing appointments, or posting on social media. They just want to focus on the job at hand. But now that he's asked that question, something interesting starts happening in his mind. A brand new train of thought suddenly starts up and continues firing, based on whatever instructions or answers that you give him. But as we have just observed, every single thought he has is still being filtered through his identity as an artist. So no matter what you say or do in the back of his mind, just as he has already said countless other times in countless other ways to countless other people in countless other circumstances, go away, don't bother me. Just tell me what you want and let me do it. I'm the best person for the job. Nobody cares as much as me about the quality of my work. Doesn't matter what it costs, I want to do it right. And then we have the business owner. The owner is the one giving the orders, so he is asking a completely different question. But now, instead of asking other people questions, the owner starts by asking questions of himself. What do I want to have done? And now, because questions determine focus, all his mind can do is start answering his own question. So he enters into a creative discussion with himself, and lo, a creative vision of what he wants starts coming into focus. So now what starts going through his mind as he begins to share, expand, and realize his vision? Hey, employee, technician, manager, director, customer, newsroom, neighbor, politician, everybody. Tell me what is happening. Give me all the news. Show me the results. And don't waste my time or money. So unlike the technician, who would rather just focus on the task at hand without people constantly interrupting him, the business owner wants as much new information as possible constantly being fed to him, and through as many different sources and people as possible. Unlike the artist or technician, owners start by asking themselves what they want to have done, then rely on others to deliver. Now here's the thing. All of these thoughts you are having over here will completely fuck things up when you are operating over here. And vice versa. That's because each of these roles requires completely different skill and mindsets in order to succeed. And regardless of what people in each of these roles might think about the other, both these roles are essential for a business to survive. But if you, as either an artist or an owner, are constantly switching back and forth between the two, without an effective strategy or structure, then all that you end up with are some pretty big problems that you either ignore or don't know how to solve. That's totally not your fault. The only reason is because sometimes it's damn near impossible to stay neutral between your own opposing points of view. And remember what I said about context? At any given time, a person's context will limit all the potential problems and solutions that they can even see. Because context is the parameters that constrain meaning and therefore limit possibility. Now that's really important to remember, especially as your context is often interchangeable with whatever roles that you take on. In truth, whatever you identify with is just another box that both limits and informs all of your potential. So that's where management comes in. The role of the manager is to constantly bridge the gap between what the artist sees and wants to do and what the owner sees and wants to have done. And if you're trying to do all these roles yourself, then no matter how strong you are in any of them, one of these roles will be your weakest link. And if you've made it this far, I'm just going to go ahead and say it's probably in the management of your business, or at the very least, in the management of your marketing, that you could really use some help. So now your assignment is really simple. All you've got to do is choose what is most important to manage or focus on first. Is it A, getting more leads, B, turning more leads into customers, C, turning more customers into repeat sales, or D, something else?